Boelter Jones, Pro Football Hall of Famer, top 100.
Tyler Largent from the Seattle Seahawks.
DK Metcalf from
Hey Burleson, you're watching NorbCam.
NorbCam.
You're watching NorbCam.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is NorbCam coming at you on this Wednesday, our usual Wednesday afternoon chat with my friends, and of course, another round of Seahawks trivia. This is NorbCam, and I'm pleased to have you here watching the show. Thank you for all of you guys in the chat, like Amanda, Nick LeBeau, Harper Elliott, Deadly Skills, Seahawks Martin, of course, one of my guests, Nick LeBeau. My name is Adam, and a whole bunch of y'all. Thank you for being part of this. I'm excited. I'm excited because, as you saw in the title, I am going to do something that I have been thinking about for years. I've been contemplating, but never pulled the trigger. And Anderson Lehman, thank you for the super chat. Hello to you as well. I am going to finally play fantasy football. Yes, a lot of you have asked me, Norb, when are you going to join? Join my league, do this and that. Well, this is finally the season. I've decided this is it. This is kind of an unusual year with all this going on. But more than that, it's because I've had a lot of friends, some on this show, in fact, and others that I've networked over the past few months that have really made me realize that it is simply time to cross the line, to jump into the pool. I've tiptoed to the edge of it, but never jumped in. And this year, doggone it, I'm going to go for it. And so I'd like to welcome my guests now to the show. You see them every week joining me here. So without further ado, I want to bring them on. My distinguished panel of football and sports experts. Here they are. Please welcome to my left, Calvin Domingo. Down in the left corner, Noah, the Boelter. And in the top right, Seahawks Martin. Welcome, gentlemen. How's everybody doing today?
Great.
Oh, Cal, I think I'm not hearing you. I think you're muted. There we go. There we go.
Wow. It's another beautiful day in the Pacific Northwest. I enjoy the sun.
It's always an adventure when Calvin's in the house because you never know what might happen. And in this case, he was up to the last second getting a math tutoring session. Tell us a little bit about what was happening with this. What are you preparing for there, Cal?
Oh, yeah. So I didn't know this before, but this week was our last week to turn in all of our homework for the quarter. And as usual, I was a little behind, and so I had to call up one of my good friends. Actually, she could tutor me, and just been trying to catch up on all this missing work. And so, trying to finish the quarter strong. School ends, I think, early next week, end of this week, and so I'm kind of just trying to make a late push.
All right, procrastination is the order of the day here, folks. So that's what we do here. We procrastinate even as I get this show ready. It's a procrastination to the last second, as Noah can attest to. But since we're talking to you, Cal, you guys are all students, and so we're all juggling something in our lives. But and then there's Cal juggling, shots with photo bombs with his roommates. Since you're on talking, Cal, tell the audience a little bit about you and what you do in terms of your sports show.
Yes, sir. So I'm going to let Noah get into the Boelt. But on YouTube, we all do YouTube videos. Seahawks Martin, he posts whenever he feels like it. But his link will be in the description. Show him some love. Noah at DJ Squabble, you can find him on YouTube. Daily videos in the world of sports, NFL, NBA. He's usually posting every morning, so if you're an early bird, you know what to do. And then for me, I post weekly videos. I try to post them every weekend, NBA, NFL. Later down the line, I do want to get into MLB, soccer, boxing, UFC, all that good stuff. And so be sure to subscribe to all of us. All of our links will be in the channel. in the channel description. And last but not least, show some love to Norb, as always. Always a pleasure for having us on the show. So don't forget to subscribe to him first and foremost, and then there's us.
All right. Hey, in the chat, I just see that Cabron is having celebrating his birthday today. So happy birthday to Cabron. Thank you for spending a little bit of your birthday here on our show. Thank you for watching. All right. Yeah. So Noah, let's go to you. The other side, you mentioned the Boelt, Calvin. So the Boelt is Noah Boelter. Tell everybody a little bit about what you do.
Yeah, so me and Calvin, every Saturday for 3 hours, we talk sports on the radio. You can listen live from 10 to 1 on the KGRG app. You can listen anywhere with the app. Or if you missed a show, we upload every single segment up to our podcast on SoundCloud. Go ahead and follow. That link is in the description below.
Okay, and last but certainly not least, let's go to Seahawks Martin. Martin, tell the audience a little bit about yourself.
First of all, Norb, thanks for having us on the show here. It's awesome. And yeah, my channel is called Seahawks Martin. Like Calvin said, I post whenever I feel like it. My last video was 5 Seahawks players who I think should be in the Hall of Fame once they retire. Episode 4 of the Seahawks Martin show comes out this Saturday. I know you guys like my show, so I sure hope that this next episode you guys will like even more. And you never know. Eventually, I might even have Noah, Calvin, or Norb on my show. You never know.
All right.
But yeah, if you guys like my stuff, then subscribe to my channel. But more importantly, subscribe to Noah, Calvin's, and Norb's channel. Okay, you guys have to. All
right. Thank you, guys. And I did want to get into this fantasy football thing. But before I do, there's something that's been on my mind, because of this whole bizarre year with the pandemic and everything. And Cal, you mentioned about wanting to talk a little bit more about Major League Baseball and all those teams. Everything's kind of reshuffling, trying to figure out how they can salvage a season. A little story that I realized, probably a couple of teams that have benefited from what's gone on would be the Boston Red Sox and the Houston Astros, if you know what I'm talking about, right? Because the hottest topic probably going into the start of the Major League Baseball season, how are people going to react when the Houston Astros and who were caught with the whole cheating scandal were going to be received by other teams when they showed up, and now people pretty much entirely forgot all about that, at least for the mainstream's concerned. But in some ways, those guys must be going, whew, I'm glad that ship has sailed, because probably no one's even going to remember that now, because it's been so buried by so many other priorities in the world. But, not everybody has, had to... some people have actually had some benefits from it. I don't know if you guys' thoughts on that. It's something that not too many people are talking about. But, Calvin, since you brought it up, quick thoughts on that Major League Baseball scandal and the fact that we'll probably not really hear much about it again, since it's sort of been swept under the rug.
I think you're kind of right. There's so many other things, taking precedence, and so many other things going on that you kind of get lost in the sauce. And so I think that until the season starts, people are going to forget about it. It's not going to be on their minds. But once the season does come around, once you start seeing Houston Astros players on the field, once you start seeing some of the other guys on the field, once you start seeing them on TV, then people will start to remember, oh, hold up, weren't these guys the guys that were involved in that scandal and that cheating scandal? Yeah, hold up, we're not going to let them off the hook. And so that's when they start taking even more heat. So I think while you're right now that people are going to forget about it, I think that once the season does come along, once it starts rolling once again, people are going to remember it. And then they're going to take even more heat, I think. Just because this isn't something that could go away that easily. While other things are happening, it's kind of been pushed off to the side. Once the season comes around, it'll be right back in the spotlight.
Noah, what do you think about that? I think you're right, Calvin. It's something that it really all depends on what the narrative becomes, and if the announcers and the news media bring the issue back up, people will start talking about it. But it'll be interesting if the fans on their own remember when they actually start having games where we could actually go to. But Noah, real quick, your thoughts on that?
It's funny that you asked, Norb. I actually had a hidden camera in your room, like on your notes for today's show, so I knew we were going to talk about this. And I was able to collect my thoughts about it. I think that the Astros, similar to Calvin, as soon as baseball gets back and we see how much worse they are now, I think people are going to bring it up quite often. You don't forget about a scandal like the one that's going on currently with Major League Baseball. It's just tragic to hear about what the effect that it had on the final play of seasons. It ended years for a lot of good teams, and because of it, there are a lot of fan bases that are really upset right now. They're a rival to our Mariners, even though our Mariners suck. But anytime the Astros are on the field, people are going to pay attention, and people are going to remember them for the number one thing anytime they're known for right now, and that's for cheating.
Yeah, that's right. The Mariners do suck. But Martin, any thoughts? I know you're kind of the Seahawks encyclopedia, but do you have any thoughts about? Do you follow baseball at all? Is this a story that means anything to you as far as this whole cheating scandal?
Yeah, Norb, you said it. Mariners sucks. I don't follow them. But even as just Seahawks only, football only guy, I have heard about the scandal with the whole stealing signs kind of thing, and I'm thinking like, wow, like that's something. And Norb and Calvin, Noah and Calvin, they said it completely correctly. Once MLB comes back, that's all they're going to talk about with the Astros. That you've had some cheating scandals that weren't as bad, but this is a whole new level. Like, this is pretty crazy. I know the Astros now have like pretty much lost their fan base or something. And I honestly don't know much else because I don't follow baseball. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say.
All right, well, we'll see. Right now, the fan bases are just scrambling to find out when they can go support their teams. It's just it's such a bizarre world right now. And we'll find out. The next few months are going to be very telling as to what kind of sports seasons we're going to have, to see what the rest of baseball and basketball has. And then, of course, what we're all really on pins and needles on is what kind of football season are we going to have. We know there'll be games. The question is, who's going to get to watch them? And I've been hearing everything all over the map, from no spectators to partial spectators. And if they do partial spectators, how are they going to decide who goes where? They say if you're going there, you can't get up to go get food. It has to be brought to you. And how are you going to social distance in the bathroom? You ever been to men's urinals in the bathrooms? There is no social distancing whatsoever. You have like 6 inches between. You're practically shaking hands with the guy next to you. It's not a pretty sight. But imagine the lines. If you have to social distance in the bathroom, you might as well just show up, get in line for the bathroom, and forget about going to the entire half of football. It's crazy. It's unprecedented times. But let's switch topics now. I want to get back to what we really started on here, and that is fantasy football. Okay, so as I said at the beginning of the show, I've been interested in it. I hear about it being analyzed. I talk with friends about it, but I've just have never done it. And I decided, thanks to people like Noah here, who we had a nice long chat a couple days ago, right, Noah? Or was it yesterday? It was yesterday. We had a chat about it. And you're essentially kind of egging me on to, hey, man, if you want to do it, got this perfect setup. So I finally was on that tipping point. I decided, you know what? To heck with it. I'm going to go for it this year. So I'm excited to be doing it. I'm a little nervous, but I figured you guys are kind of the experts. Martin is like me, never done it before. So we're kind of the apprentices here, and you guys can sort of be the teachers, like Cal had a tutor in his house just a minute ago. You guys get to tutor us on what do you have to say to someone like us, someone like me, who's literally starting from scratch, doesn't know anything about how to play this? What can you get us going to start off on the right foot, to at least feel like we have a little bit of sense of direction as to how to get going in this world of fantasy football? Noah, since you talked me into it, I'm going to start with you. So give me your starting newbie advice for anyone like myself who's interested in getting into fantasy football. What do we need to do first to get rolling?
Well, I got 3 points for my rookies out there. So number one, be aware of your players' bye weeks. Some guys like aligning bye weeks. Some guys like dispersing them so that they don't have too many guys on the same bye. I'm one of those guys. I'm okay with just taking a week off, having all my bye week aligned, and then having all my guys the rest of the season, because typically by the end of the season, or at least last year in this league, I didn't need all the wins that I ended up getting towards the end of the year anyways. So why not just align those binds, lose one of those games, and then for the rest of the year have all your guys at full strength? Other players like to have one guy per bye per week. It's completely up to your strategy as a fantasy football player, but be aware of your bye weeks is my number one tip. Number two, be a waiver wizard. I haven't heard anyone say that, but that's kind of my thing, is that whenever a week happens, and especially earlier on in the season, after game day, you always have to go on early Monday morning and just check and see, or Tuesday morning, and check and see what players are available, who got cut, who had a breakout performance this week, who got injured. You got to go in and you got to be on top of it, because once a guy gets picked up, he's picked up. And you're going to miss out on that opportunity. There are a lot of really good players every single year that people don't draft and turn into waiver wizards. So keep your eye and be a waiver wizard. And the last point that I have is don't draft too many risky players. If you take a whole bunch of guys that you're not sure about but have a great upside, and then you have Antonio Brown and Odell Beckham Jr. last year both on your squad or something like that, it could turn out to be a very negative thing, and it could cost you your entire season. So don't draft too many risky players, especially in your first year in fantasy.
All right. That's some good advice. I see a lot of people in the chat putting some tips on there about make sure you draft 3 straight running backs and a lot of good stuff. We'll have to review these notes here and compare. I got a shout out to the Giants fan in the Super Chat. Asked a question, did the Chicago Bear die in Rivals? He's making a wiki. I must be asking about when my buddy Mark Collins dressed up as a Bears fan and we knocked him out at the end of the Rivals video. We don't kill people in Rivals, okay? Everybody lives on, just so you know that. So, no, the Rivals fan is still alive. He will probably make an appearance again someday. So he is... not dead. We did not kill anybody in the Chicago Bears Rivals video. So I wanted to also tell you, while I'm killing time with while Cal is out there talking to somebody at his door, I wanted to just mention that one of the places I'm planning to go to is the fantasy football counselor. Somebody, a guy named Joseph, I've become friends with over this past few weeks. I've been networking. He knows a lot of stuff. Very passionate about fantasy football. I had him on a couple weeks ago. Gave some good advice. I have a feeling I'm going to be talking to him quite a bit to get some tips. But so you might want to check him out. I've got actually a link to his program that he has in the description. So if you are like me and want to really immerse yourself, he's got a whole program devoted to strategies on fantasy football. But I've got my guest here. Cal is ready. He said goodbye to his tutor, unless she's coming back for a surprise visit. But if not, Cal, it's your turn, man. I want to hear about your strategies in terms of what you tell a rookie getting into fantasy football. What's the first things you gotta do?
Yes, sir. So sorry about that. She wanted to say goodbye. So number one rule, for me at least, don't take a quarterback early. I know, quarterbacks, they run this league. Quarterbacks are the, main stars of this league. Quarterbacks are almost everything in this league. But in fantasy football, they are not. Because there are so many good quarterbacks out there, because there are at least 20-plus starting caliber quarterbacks out there that could put up good numbers for you, that could win you a game any given week, don't draft a quarterback in the first 4, 5, or 6 rounds because there's so many of them. You can find them later in the draft. I remember a couple years where I took a quarterback in round 8, round 9, and I won my league. And you can find guys like, let's say, I don't know if he's going in the later rounds this year, but before when Russell Wilson wasn't on the radar, before when Dak Prescott wasn't on the radar, I was able to get those guys in round 7, round 8, round 9, while being able to fill out the rest of my roster with plenty of depth at running back, plenty of depth at wide receiver. And so wait on drafting a quarterback. There's so many good ones out there. You don't need to take one early. Load up on running backs, load up on wide receivers, and load up on maybe even tight ends. Number 2, as one of the people said in the comments earlier, take as many running backs as you can. And the type of running backs that I would target if I were you are running backs that have a pretty heavy workload. Running backs that don't share the backfield with other guys that aren't in situations that are considered running back by committee. Just because in the world of fantasy, you want to be able to have like that featured guy, that guy who can not only rush for not only can have about 20, 25 carries, but can also put up about 3 to 5 receptions a game. You want to have that workhorse because you want to be able to accumulate as many points as possible. And so if you're drafting a running back from, let's say, who's in the timeshare? I guess you could look at our backfield, for example. We have Chris Carson, Rashad Penny, Carlos Hyde now. And so we're going to have a pretty loaded backfield. I'd stay away from running backs in the Seattle running back room just because there's so many options there. I know Chris Carson's been able to put up over 1,100 yards rushing these last couple of years while sharing the backfield with Rashad Penny. But I just think that with the addition of Carlos Hyde, there are going to be too many snaps to go around for you to take a chance on any of those guys. Just because in any given week, Carlos Hyde could have 102 touchdowns. Maybe the next week after, Chris Carson will be our main focus in the game plan. He'll have 100 yards and a couple touchdowns, and then Carlos Hyde will have like 25 yards and then maybe no touchdowns. So number 2, basically stick to loading every team with running backs, but try to target running backs that aren't in running back by committees.
All right. So before you continue, there's a super chat by Team Triple G Mono, I believe. That's our favorite 49er fan, very passionate one. He's been very nice lately. He's asking, Cal, I think, is that a Ronaldo Dino jersey or Messi?
Oh, that's messy.
Okay. All right. So I got another question to ask. So is your tutor still in the house, or did she leave already?
Oh, she has work.
Oh, okay. I was going to hope she would make a guest appearance and talk about you a little bit. But that's all right. We need more female representation on this show. Okay.
I asked her to be on.
What's that?
I asked her to be on, but I think she was a little too shy.
Well, work on that. Convince her for next week. Okay. All right. So before I continue on, did you have another point to get to, Cal? Because I was going to ask a question of the two of you before, if you were.
Oh, it was just a small one. Basically, don't draft a kicker. Don't draft a defense unless you have to. Just because, as Noah mentioned earlier, you can find plenty of quality defenses and plenty of quality kickers in the waiver wire. For me, I look at it as like I'm wasting a draft pick if I'm drafting a kicker or a defense, just because you kind of have to use different defenses, different kickers every week. The way that I look at it, I want to start a defense who has a good matchup. Let's say, for example, you have what's a good defense? The Chicago Bears defense. And let's say they're playing the Jacksonville Jaguars week 1. You want to start their defense just because they're playing against a terrible offense in Jacksonville. You know that defense can accumulate points by way of takeaways, by way of turnovers, by way of maybe even scoring a touchdown. So don't draft a defense, don't draft a kicker, just because every single week you're going to have to rotate and choose the best matchup possible. So don't draft a kicker, don't draft.
All right. So Amanda, my buddy Amanda's in the chat. She said, if I knew anything fantasy football, I'd do it, but I have no clue when it comes to that. Well, neither do I. So you've come to the right place. We're getting all kinds of good advice, and please keep throwing up the chats and the suggestions. I'm seeing a lot of good advice there. Somebody said if you had the first pick overall, you got to go with Christian McCaffrey, Saquon Barkley, or Michael Thomas. I guess my question would be, let's say you had the first pick and all three of those guys were available. Who would you guys pick? Go throw it back to Noah.
Oh, that's C-Mac. He had over 2,400 yards all-purpose last season, as well as 19 touchdowns. It's not even a debate. Saquon got injured last year. Christian McCaffrey, yes, he just got a whole bunch of money, so he might not necessarily be as motivated as he was last season, but he did that with Kyle Allen. Now he has Teddy B. Running backs are a quarterback's best friend. He's their check down, especially if you're in a PPR league. You have got to have Christian McCaffrey. What was that, 2 straight years of over 100 receptions? Just ridiculous from the running back position.
PPR league, for those of you who don't know, I've come to learn that means points per reception, correct?
Yeah.
I didn't even know what that was. I used to say, so I'm in a PPR league. I was like, what the heck is PPR? But now I know. So it means that you actually have a league where your player gets points for just catching the ball. It doesn't even have to get any yardage. You could lose yardage, and it's still considered a point for the reception, correct?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So,
wow.
Cal, who would you take? Would you also go with Christian McCaffrey if he was if you had the three of those backs to choose from?
See, I would, but you really can't go wrong with choosing Barkley, just because I think that this season he's going to have his best season yet. He's going to be highly motivated. Last season, he missed 3 games and was injured in about 5 others. He had a pretty bad year looking at his standards. I just think that New York, they're going to have their offense is going to be a whole lot better. Daniel Jones showed a lot of promise last season. Their offensive line is going to be much improved. They're still going to be a pretty bad team. And so Saquon Barkley is going to amass a lot of his point totals by way of receptions, just because his first season in the league as a rookie, he had 91 receptions. And I think that we shouldn't expect 90-plus receptions this season. He's just going to be highly motivated. He's going to be a huge part of the game plan. Jason Garrett's going to be the offensive coordinator, and he knows how to feed the beast. Obviously, with coaching Zeke Elliott all those years in Dallas, he's going to be able to take advantage of Saquon in a similar way. C-Mac, he's going to have a little bit more wear and tear on his body. I get that he's only 25, 26 years old, but last year he was going number 1 in drafts, and obviously that paid off really well. I'm just not sure if he's able to sustain that type of production, that type of workload 2 years running. Even the year before that, he was actually a top 3 pick. I just kind of project and I kind of predict him falling off just a little bit. But once again, you can't really go wrong. If I had to pick today, though, I'd actually go with Barkley.
Oh, now I see there's the look on Noah's face. There's a little discrepancy, a little disagreement on that. So I got to ask this question. because I'm most likely going to join your league because, Noah sort of sold me on that. There's a little bit of money to be risked there, but it's a minimal amount with some bragging rights and some cash to be earned if you do well. I don't expect to. I expect to be like the Seahawks in their expansion season, coming out and going 2-14 or whatever they did, but that's okay. It's a learning experience. So I got to ask, since you guys have played this for a while and have had the league together, I'm trying to listen to your advice, and I'm telling myself, who should I listen to, Cal or Noah? Well, there's only a way to really know who should I listen to. Who did better in your league last year? I'd like to know how did you guys do in terms of who ended up on top?
Well, we played in 2 leagues together. So I have a league, Calvin has a league. This year, we actually plan on creating a 3rd league, a fan league. Go to my channel. I'm going to post a video explaining that. I'm going to see how many of these guys I can get involved in that league too. I'm going to expand that one. It might be 12 to 16 teams, but I want to get more guys involved with that one. But the Boelt League specifically last year, it was paid, or everyone had to pay $20 to get in. It was with football coaches that coached me in high school and all that. We played in that league, and then we played in Calvin's league, and I'm pretty sure down the stretch of the year I knocked Calvin out of both leagues.
Wait, Calvin looks confused.
No. In my league, I didn't make the playoffs in my league.
Because I snuck back in and had a late run and knocked him out by making it.
So basically, are you telling me that Noah went 2-0 against you, Calvin, last year? Is that what I understand?
Well, I didn't make the playoffs though, so he didn't knock me out, but
he finished better than you though, right?
Well, yeah, but I mean, if for whatever it's worth, I did win my league last year, so it was just a bad year.
Okay, all right. So in other words, the trivia contest sort of followed the pattern of your fantasy football leagues then.
Well, actually, no. I wouldn't say that. I do have 3 titles under my belt. So
okay.
So
last year might have been an anomaly, but overall, you're saying it's actually pretty even between the two of you guys as far as.
I might actually have to say I might be better just because I have the experience. I have those title belts. I think I've been playing it longer. I've been playing it since 2011, and so I've been in the game for a while.
Wow.
I don't know. I mean, last year wasn't an anomaly. We'll see.
I'll give you some credit, Cal, but last year was our first year playing together, and it started out the same way it's going to continue. I've been playing for years, too. I'll give you the edge. You've been playing longer than me, and you probably play more leagues than me, but I don't play a bunch of leagues because I want to win the leagues that I play in, and because of that, I think I'm the better player.
I mean, I just feel like when you ask a question like that, you have to say you're the better player just because, it's kind of like a pride thing, a competitive
it's all
thing.
love.
It's kind of hard for me to admit like, oh yeah, he's better than me, So of course, I expect you to say that.
Well, I guess you'd have some statistics to back it up, right? Wouldn't there be a win-loss record in here somewhere that you could actually measure side by side who's got the better winning record?
Well, in our league last year, I was the 1 seed. I had the best record. If I started Julio in the divisional round, I would have been the champion.
If ifs and buts were candy nuts, it'd be Christmas every day. Well, that's pretty impressive. Of course, that was last year, and every year's a little different. But I'm excited to see how this goes. I don't expect to dominate or do anything like that, but it's going to be a great learning experience. I think I see a lot of other people who are in the chat are considering doing it as well. So maybe this will motivate them to give it a try as well. So you're saying this fan league, anybody can join it? You mean our viewers here in the audience could actually join it as well?
I am going to join. I'm going to join this.
So Seahawks Martin says he's never done it before. Are you? What's your feeling on this? You're going to give this a try, Martin?
I've never actually done it by myself because I'm really annoyed when I'm moping after a Seahawks loss, and then let's say against the Niners or something. Then my friend comes up to me, he's like, "Well, at least George Kittle got 30 points for me, so I won my game." So I get super annoyed at that. And so it's really annoying. But I've actually coached my cousins and uncle in fantasy football before, and so I kind of know how to play, but then kind of don't. And I don't know, but I feel like with my encyclopedia brain, I feel like I can shock people as a rookie this year.
No, I know with fantasy football, I think probably the hardest thing I'll have to get used to is as you know, people ask me who's your second favorite team, and I don't have one. It's just I'm Seahawks all the way. And when you play fantasy, you can't have a team allegiance. You have to go with what's going to help you, which means you may draft a player you can't stand, and which is going to be weird. Like I might be rooting for George Kittle to beat Seattle because he's on my fantasy team, and just the thought of having to even think that is weird. But I know it's a business game versus my passion of the game, so that's probably the first thing I get used to. But Martin, I was going to ask you, I know you're an walking encyclopedia of Seahawks knowledge, but are you a walking encyclopedia of all NFL teams? Because you got to know more than just the Seahawks, my friend, to make it.
I guess I know enough around the NFL. Like, I know the best players. I know CMC's super good. I know Michael Thomas. I'm planning to maybe have him on my team. I just spoiled something for y'all, so you guys are probably going to go draft him before. But yeah, the thing is, what you were saying, like, you were rooting for George Kittle to beat the Seahawks. The best case scenario could be having George Kittle having a good game, but then also, but your team still wins, like the Seahawks still win. But yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty wild. I mean, because I know that if you could get George Kittle on your team, you would do it, right? I mean, arguably the best tight end in the NFL. Hard not to play him and be rooting for him every single game. But then they'll play the Seahawks, and I'll be rooting for, our tight ends to do something while rooting for their tight ends to do. I'll worry about that later. But I'm excited to learn this whole process. It's going to be fun. Any last words? Let's see. I'll go back to you, Noah. Was there anything you wanted to add in terms of your words of wisdom for a newbie fantasy football player like myself who's thinking about getting into this?
Well, if you don't mind, Norb, I saw some people in the chat asking how to join the fan league. And so what I would say to that is we haven't set it up exactly yet. So what I would ask you to do to get your spot reserved, DM me on Instagram at DJSQUABO. Let me know that you're interested, and I'll check it away. I'll put you on the list, and then we'll start to figure out exactly how many teams we're going to do. Talk about logistics as we get a little closer, and I'll post some videos on my channel about it. So just simply stay tuned. But the last piece of advice, if just one piece, like one sleeper that I had this year is a guy that's really being slept on. I've seen him ranked in the late 20s on ranking websites of how they think the draft is going to go. And what I'm saying is Austin Eckler is a top 10 guy for me this season. He only had 132 carries last year, which for comparison is less than half than Chris Carson had. And had he doubled his amount of carries, so not even the amount of Carson, but just doubled his own amount of production, he would have been on pace to have Christian McCaffrey type of numbers. In the 4 games before Melvin Gordon came back from holding out, he had 100 yards per game, 490 yards total, and 6 touchdowns. Just incredible numbers. I think Austin Eckler is going to step into that running back 1 role this year. He just got extended $24 million, 4 years. I think he's going to have a phenomenal year.
All right. Good to keep note on. Calvin, do you have a sleeper pick of your own?
So I have one last piece of advice and a sleeper. I'm going to get into that piece of advice real quick. When it comes to filling out the rest of your team, like let's say you have your first 4 or 5 starters, when it comes to filling out the rest of your team and you don't know who to draft, you don't know when a good time is to draft this player or that player, what you want to do is you want to target players who play for really good offenses. And so you look at some of the top offenses in football. You look at the Chiefs, the Saints, the Cowboys, potentially the Seahawks, potentially the Ravens, and so on. When you're filling out, I guess, the final spots of your team, draft guys from really good offenses, just because any guy from those respective offenses can kind of explode in any given moment. When it comes to blowouts, a lot of guys from these teams will get an opportunity to come in and kind of put up points for you in an unexpected way. And so, once again, when you're filling out the final couple of roster spots on your team, look to draft players from really good offenses, just because they can put up points at any given week. And then my sleeper, would be running back Miles Sanders from the Philadelphia Eagles. I know firsthand just how good he can be for your fantasy football team. Last season as a rookie, he put up about 800 yards and about 5 touchdowns. He also provided a whole lot via the air. He's a very good pass catcher. I think that in Philadelphia, I don't expect all the wide receivers to be injured towards the end of the season. So you can definitely expect to have wide receivers around the team. They have one of the best offensive lines in football. You have Carson Wentz, a top 10 quarterback in football. And so you have a whole lot of threats. And as of right now, Miles Sanders is the running back 1 in the room. They don't have any other running backs over there. And so look for Miles Sanders to take a huge leap in year 2. And he's definitely someone I'm going to be keeping an eye on rounds 2 to 3.
All right. Lots of stuff to chew on already. But my friend over there who Amanda had said, "This sounds stressful, Norb." Well, I think it kind of is. That's kind of why, to be honest, I've hesitated to do it, because I know how much time I see my friends who are constantly like on the phone checking who's available. I got to trade this. I got to draft this. I got to do this. And
my uncle literally checked his fantasy in the middle of church.
Well, and I see guys, during the football games at CenturyLink, they're on their phones checking other games, which I know is pretty normal to do, but it's just like they're not even paying attention to the game in front of them because they're so busy checking out their other players from the other teams. I don't want to get to that point, but I don't know. Maybe I'm gonna. I guess that's the scary part. I am.
You will. Like on Sundays, just let me paint a little picture for you guys. On Sundays, I have 2 TVs that you guys can't see right now. One of them's on football. The other one's on football. I got a laptop that I have 4 different screens that go to football with multiple tabs where it's multiple different fantasy leagues. That's the level of obsession you're going to get to. I promise you, Norb, you're going to fall in love.
But how am I going to do? I can't bring my 4 TVs to the stadium when I'm going to watch the game. That might be a problem. Although there won't be any games for the fans as far as I'm hearing, so maybe I will be at home with 5 screens looking at everything going, hey, what's going on? What's going on? So it's going to be interesting. If my life wasn't crazy enough, it's about to get crazier. My wife doesn't know I'm doing this yet, so she's going to be like, "You did what?" No.
The problem with Sundays is because I have to go to Vietnamese school, so I have to learn my Vietnamese and then I have to do Sunday school, and so sometimes I'm probably going to have to check without them knowing.
Yeah, but you're on Sunday. You've already picked your guys, right? It's not like you're going to do anything once the games have started, right?
You just want to check their points, I guess.
I mean, it's going to be what it is. It's not like you got to do something in the middle of a game.
There are a lot of injury updates that come right down to the line, though. Like, it's a game time decision.
Oh, right before the games. Oh, right. So you could be at 12:45, the end of a morning game, and an injury happens right before your game starts that your player's going to play in, and you got to make a last-minute change because that dude's injured? Oh, great.
Funny
that's just
story.
great.
If you don't mind, I have to give Calvin credit. Calvin probably would have knocked me out of my own league last year had our matchup in the playoffs not been the night after his birthday party, because he woke up so late. He didn't update any of his rosters, and because of that, I won.
So that's the reason. So it's not that Calvin wasn't the better player last year. He just partied too hard, and that's why he lost. You just admitted it. You're not the better player. You got lucky because Calvin got too drunk the night before. So if you're going to play fantasy, don't get drunk the night before a game. Okay, got it. Check. And that's going to be tough because Saturday nights before the game. All these things I got to remember. I didn't realize this was in the fantasy football owner's handbook. Don't get drunk Saturday night. Got it. Okay. Oh man, this is gonna get. We might have to do more of these because it sounds like we're just scratching the surface, seeing the tip of the iceberg as far as how to play this game. You guys are obviously very passionate about it. Someday I'm going to get to that point of passion, and I'm going to be a whole other crazed individual. And so will Martin. Martin's going to be his Vietnamese scores are going to go down, but his fantasy team's going to go up. It's going to be great.
I've actually placed in the top 3 for my Vietnamese ever since 3rd. I started in 3rd grade for my Vietnamese school, and that year I got 3rd, and then it became second, and I don't know about this.
It's all downhill from here, man. You might as well just call that the peak. It's all going to go downhill. Your parents are going to be like,
mad, so
Martin, no more NorbCam videos for you. You need to study your Vietnamese. No more football. But I gotta take my fantasy team. I gotta update my roster. No. It's all over.
I'm still gonna put school first, though. I'll worry about it later.
Sure
on
you
Fridays
will.
or whatever.
Sure you will, Martin. Okay. All right. I know a lot of people are dying to get into the trivia, and I promise you guys this is going to be another easy one because, yes, this is going to be another 50-50 true-false game. So, as I said, even your dog can win this one. He could just poke his nose at red or blue and might win the thing just by luck. My buddy Bob Simmons, who knows nothing about football, placed third place. So if he can get on the podium, anyone can. All right. So let's find out. Let's get this game going. All right. So let me pull up the Kahoot number, and here we go. Get your Kahoots ready. Here we go. We need 50 players, and number is now on the screen. There we go. The number is 461-9571. 461-9571. Join in the Kahoot now. 461-9571. And earn a chance to be part of this on a future show. I hope this is working because I don't see any players joining yet. 461-9571. I hope this is working. This is odd. Normally the thing is just flooding with people.
It's
not working.
It's not working. Oh, that's great. Let's just try this again. All right, hold on. I probably kept it open too long. Stand by. All right, here we go. Let's try this again. Here we go. Refresh. 854-7883. Will that work? 854-7883. There we go. There's the players coming in now. 854-7883. We've got 12 players. 15, 20, 22, 25, 35. We're up to 40 now. Hitting close to the limit in the record time. 47, 48, 50 players now. Let's see. I think we can go over 50. I've hit 60 at one point. We'll give you another minute to do so. I'm going to change this music. There we go. Yeah. 60 players. Do I hear 61? The number again is 854-7883. 854-7883. 62 players. We give you 15 seconds. All right, Chrysostamo is in the house. This isn't you, Martin, is it? 63 players. We have Jacob and Caden. Quiet Down 12s. Steelers Nation is back. Danger Russ. Robel is back. Trying to get in there a second time, maybe. Harper, Michael Mullins, who was very close to winning last time. 10 seconds. 63 players in. Again, the number, one last chance. 854-7883 for you to join in. Molly Moon joins the game. 64 players in. We have 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. Again, these are all true, false questions. I'm going to get my... I always forget to do this in advance. Here we go. To get my scoreboard ready for my friends here. Cal, Martin, and Noah will be honest about their answers that they give. Let's get it going on. Oh, one last... Lamar Jackson in the house for number 65 player here. Let's do it with Lamar in the house. Let's go. Let the games begin. 13 questions. I got a little bonus one in there for you guys. True or false? Sean Alexander holds the Seahawks record for rushing yards in his rookie season. True or false? Sean Alexander holds the Seahawks record for rushing yards in his rookie season. True or false? You have 5 seconds.
Like most for a rookie? Most for a rookie? Or?
Rookie season. The record for rushing yards in rookie season. Oh, okay. A little tricky one there. Fooled some of the audience. 21. If you said false, you were correct. Let's see if our panel knows the right answer here. Calvin, what did you get?
I said true.
Okay. Martin, how about you?
I said true also.
Noah.
I said true.
Oh man, I will tell you who it was. This surprised me as well. The actual rookie record was set by Kurt Warner in 1983, who had 1,449 yards in his rookie season. So Kurt Warner holds the record for rushing yards in his rookie season. Let's go to the scoreboard and see where things stack up.
Nor's like, this is the easiest one yet. Like, your dog's going to win.
Omar Ba at first. Quiet Down 12's at second. Ethan Ballhofer third. Shanoy in fourth. And the Arizona Cards, the area Cards, in fifth. Let's go to the next question. All true, false here. Here we go. True or false? Steve Largent holds the receiving record for touchdowns in one game. True or false? Steve Largent holds the receiving record for touchdowns in one game. One game. Receiving records for touchdowns. True or false? You have 3 seconds. And time is up. If you said false, you were correct. And again, most of you didn't know this one. Let's see if our panel knew this one. Let's start with you, Cal.
I said true again.
Okay, going for the name trap. Let's see. Did Martin know this one? The encyclopedia needs to get a win streak. Martin?
I actually guessed here, and I went with false, so yay.
Do you have any idea who it might have been?
Ryan Blades?
Yeah, good guess. But nope. Let's see if Noah knows this one. Noah?
Joey Galloway. No, I'm just kidding. Eventually, it has to be true. I said true.
You said true. Well, Martin was the only one who got that one right. The correct answer was actually Darrell Turner, who had 4 touchdowns in one game in 1985. Darrell Turner. Darrell Turner is the record holder for that. Let's see how the scoreboard shakes up after round 2. Oh, changes. The Arizona Cardinals, the area Cards goes to number 1. Shanoy moves up to second. Sky High Aviation, a familiar name, enters to third. Ethan Ballhofer moves up to fourth. And Nick L. Jumps into the top 5 at 5th place. Let's go to the next question. True or false? Matt Hasselbeck played the most seasons of any quarterback for the Seahawks. True or false? Matt Hasselbeck played the most seasons of any quarterback for the Seattle Seahawks. There he is, raising the 12 flag at CenturyLink Field. Again, Matt Hasselbeck played the most seasons of any quarterback for the Seattle Seahawks. True or false? Time is up. Most of you on YouTube land got this correct. 38 of you guessed this correct. If you said true, that is correct. Matt Hasselbeck did play the most seasons for the Seattle Seahawks. Cal, are you on the board?
Finally, yes, sir.
All right, we went for it. Martin.
I went with false again.
Oh, but then who did you think it was then?
Dave Craig?
Oh, that was close. He was pretty close up there. I don't remember if he's second or third, but sorry, did not get that one. Noah, are you on the board?
You know, it's been a rough start. I was thinking back. I was like, when the Seahawks first started, there was that one quarterback, Jim Zorn, was here for a long time. And so I said Jim Zorn. I said false.
Oh man, Noah, it's always bad whenever you ask. So, did you get this right? Well, you know, anytime you start with well, you know it's not a good answer. All right, let's go to the scoreboard. Let's see how the YouTube board looks. Area Cards holding steady at first place. Shanoy also holding in second. Ethan Ballhofer moves up to third. My Name is Adam on the top 5 hits fourth. And yes, Joey D enters the top 5 at number 5. Let's go to the next question. Told you, it's the easiest game ever. As you can tell by the panel, really knows their stuff. Here we go. True or false? The Seahawks led the league in scoring defense for 4 straight seasons. True or false? This is the LOB era. The Seahawks led the league in scoring defense for 4 straight seasons. True or false? I know you guys remember this time, the heyday of the Seattle Seahawks. Did they lead the league in scoring defense for 4 straight seasons? Time is up. Most of you on YouTube got this correct. If you said true, that is correct. The Seattle Seahawks did lead the NFL in scoring defense for 4 straight seasons. 47 of you got this correct. Let's go to the panel. Calvin.
Well, you know, when your defense is being compared to the 1985 Chicago Bears defense, you know your defense is special. And so I said true.
All right, Calvin with 2 points. Martin.
True. I said true at first, and I was doubting myself. I'm like, I have a bad feeling. But I got it right, so thank goodness.
Okay, good. I'm reading this text saying that I actually got my stats wrong about the Hasselbeck question.
1980s and 1991 is longer than 2001.
I gotta double check that.
Ooh.
They might have.
Did I get it right?
They might be right. I might have messed up on that one. I got to double check that. Sorry, guys. My bad. Let me double check though. All right, let's go to Noah. Did you get this one right?
Oh, I did. I remember this one.
Good. All right.
Yeah.
4 straight 2. That's a sweep. That's 2 for Cal, 2 for Martin, and 1 for Noah. Let's go to the scoreboard.
Unless we change the Hasselbeck thing.
I can't change it. I'm sorry. I'm going to have to eat that one. Shinoy goes up to first place. Ethan Ballhofer to second. Omar to third. The Ari Cards drops to fourth. And Caden 652 goes up to fifth place. Next question. Here we go. Number 5. True or false? Jimmy Graham was the most productive Seahawks tight end. True or false? And this is regards to touchdowns, yardage, receptions, obviously as a tight end. Jimmy Graham was the most productive Seahawks tight end. True or false? Jimmy Graham, most productive tight end. Do you agree? True or false? Oh, actually, a little more split than I expected. But if you said true, then you would be correct. As 35 of you out on YouTube got this one correct. Let's go to the panel. Calvin.
I said true, just because I know we haven't had like a whole bunch of good tight ends. I know, I think it was his last season, he had about 10 touchdowns, a little over 800 yards. And while that might not seem too productive when you compare him to other tight ends around the league, I think that was good enough to be the most productive for us. So, yeah, I said true.
And you were correct. Martin.
Oh, I thought it was like Zach Miller or something, so I went with false.
Oh, man. Surprise. I thought you might get this one. But, let me see what Noah has to say first. So, Noah, what was your guess on this one?
I was like, bro, Norb's not getting me this time. False. And I was wrong.
Wow. I thought this was an easy one. Well, what's funny, though? It's like Jimmy Graham, for the most part, if you ask people if they thought the Jimmy Graham trade was a good one, they would all say it wasn't. If they could do it again, they'd say no, which makes everybody feel like Jimmy Graham was not good while he was here. But in actuality, he broke all the records for receptions, yards, and touchdowns. So while our expectations were up here, he actually still did this and broke these records. So it's kind of a surprise how it's looked at as a negative thing, even though he was pretty dominant at the position. It just took a while to get rolling, but never quite got to be what he was when he was with the Saints. All right, let's go to the scoreboard, see how things change here. Ethan Ballhofer moves up to first, slowly climbing the charts. Omar moves up as well to second. Shinoy drops to third. Caden 652 to fourth, and the Airy Cards hanging on there at fifth. Let's go to the next question. True or false? Wilson threw 25 touchdowns in his rookie season. True or false? In Russell Wilson's 2012 rookie season, he threw 25 touchdowns.
Are we saying 25 exactly or at least?
25 exactly. 25 exactly. 25 touchdowns in his rookie season. That is correct. A little tricky. Half of you, a little less than half, got this correct on YouTube land. If you said false, you would be correct, and that was actually a very good question that you asked there, Noah. Let's see if you erred on the side of caution. Cal, what did you say?
I said false because his rookie season, he actually at the time broke the record for most passing touchdowns by a rookie, since broken by Baker Mayfield, but it was with 26.
You got that one nailed. The encyclopedia, who's not having a great day. A lot of typos in the encyclopedia today. Martin, did you get this one right?
No. You said we have to be honest, right? So I have to be honest here. I thought 25, and then when everyone was, and then once he said, I'm like, oh no, it was like 26. So yeah, I got that wrong.
It was kind of tricky because I know I kind of tricked you guys, making it really close to what it was. But Noah was smelling it. He says, "Was that at least 25?" So he had a hint that it was more. But did he pull the trigger, Noah?
Well, actually, he didn't break the rookie record. He tied it of Peyton Manning with 26. And then, so I did know it was 26.
So you got this right.
Yes.
Okay, very good, very good. All right. Okay, so let's go to the scoreboard, see how it changes after that last question. Ethan Ballhofer hanging in tight with a sizable lead with 6,500 points. Cameron Hughes enters into the top 3 here at second place. Omar in third. Vikings man also to the top 5 with fourth place. And Robel enters in 30 points behind him at fifth place. Here we go. I thought this was going to be the easiest one. And Calvin is dominating. When did I ever think I'd say that? Next question. Walter Jones was the second Seahawk only player inducted into the Hall of Fame after Steve Largent. True or false? Walter Jones was the second Seahawk only player inducted into the Hall of Fame after Steve Largent. True or false? Was Walter Jones the second Seahawks only player inducted into the Hall of Fame after Steve Largent?
No.
Time is up. Oh, got the audience again. 22 of you got it right. If you said false, you got the right answer. Let's see if we can find out if the panel knows the right answer here. Calvin.
I said false because was Cortez Kennedy?
Yes. Yeah. You got it. All right, Martin. I could tell from your reaction.
I went with true, and then I'm like, oh crap! I forgot it was Cortez Kennedy.
Yep.
Oh man, it's not having a good day.
Noah.
I was like, man, all the other Hall of Famers were between then and Jones. So I'm like, it's kind of the field here. So I went with Kennedy.
All right, good for you. So that puts the scoreboard with Calvin with 5, Noah with 3, and Martin bringing up the rear with 2. But remember, we got lots of double question answers coming up. You can make up the difference. Let's see how the scoreboard shakes out. Ethan Ballhofer maintaining his 1,500-point lead at first place. Cameron Hughes also in second, stays there. R. Will moves up to third. Chappie moves up to fourth. And Omar hanging in there in fifth place. Next question. True or false? Russell Wilson rushed for over 800 yards in a season only once in his career. True or false? Russell Wilson rushed for over 800 yards in a season only once in his career. True or false? Russell Wilson rushing for over 800 in a season only one time in his career. True or false? Time is up. The audience got most of this one correct. If you said true, that is correct. 40 of you got this one right. Calvin, what say you, my friend?
I said true, just because I know seasons he was very close to 1,000, and I was actually rooting for him to be the first quarterback to do it since Michael Vick. Obviously, Lamar Jackson has since done that, but yeah, I ended up going with true. Nicely
done, man. You're on a roll. Martin?
I went with true, so I'm back on a roll here. I was thinking true because back in his back when he was like young, he ran a lot. He was a good scrambler. He ran for a lot of yards. I remember that one year that he was very close to 1,000, just like Calvin said.
Noah?
I got it right.
I got it right. All right. The correct answer was true. He rushed for 849 yards in 2014, and that was his best. We'll see if he can do it again. Probably not. He's not running as much as he did back in the old days. All right, let's see what the scoreboard looks like after this Russell Wilson question. Not much changes at the top. Ethan Ballhofer at first, running away with this so far. Cameron Hughes at second. Caden 652 moves to third. Johnny DeMuro in fourth. And Norb, it's me, moves into fifth with 53-47. Here's the next question. True or false? The 12s were awarded the game ball in a win against the 49ers. True or false? The 12s, the crowd, us in the stands, were awarded the game ball in a win against the 49ers. The 12s were awarded the game ball in a win against the 49ers. True or false? You have 3 seconds. Time is up. Wow. I know this was tricky. Might be a little unfair in the way I worded it, but you had to pay attention to the details. Yes, if you said false, as 16 of you did, that would be correct. I want to see if my panel knows why. Calvin.
I guessed here. I kind of just assumed that because, we're called the 12s for a reason. I figured we did something to earn a game ball, so I said true. But
sorry you didn't get that one right. I'm waiting to see if you guys know what it is about the statement. Martin, do you know this one?
Yeah, I do. So I did false. Yeah, back on track 2 in a row. And it's actually the Giants game. I'm pretty sure the ball is actually in the stadium somewhere.
Ding! You got it. That is the correct answer. It was against the Giants. Noah, did you know this?
I was like, if Norb makes this one false, he's a jerk, and he did. So I was like, you got me with that 4 times today. Like,
I know it's tricky, but it was. We did get awarded the game ball, and it was against the Giants, as Martin, the encyclopedia, had mentioned. It was the game in 2005 when we beat the Giants in an overtime win. 24-21, we caused 11 false starts in that game, and that's why they gave the 12s the game ball in that game. And I believe it was Feely, the kicker, missed a bunch of potential game-winning field goals that could have won the game for the Giants, and he blew like 3 field goals or something that could have won it, and we won that game in overtime. Crazy game, a lot of fun. All right, let's see how the scoreboard looks after that tricky question. Ethan Ballhofer still with a dominating lead, but Cameron Hughes slowly climbing up in second. Omar moves up to third. Kivu in fourth, and Shinoy back into the top 5 at 5th place. Here we go. Next question. True or false? Worth double now. Here we go. Russell Wilson has received the Steve Largent Award the most times in team history. Russell Wilson has received the Steve Largent Award the most times in team history, meaning that he's the player that has received that award the most times. True or false? Russell Wilson has received the Steve Largent Award the most times in team history. True or false? Time is up. Pretty close split on the answers there. If you said false, as 26 of you did, you would be correct. Let's see how the panel did. Uh-oh, Calvin's dropping his head. The win streak has suddenly cooled off, but he still has a lead. Calvin.
I said false. I said true, just because those are two of the best Seahawks in football history, or in Seahawks history, and so I figured that they'd be in the same sentence together. I guess not.
Martin.
Yeah, same here. I went with true. I was thinking, Russell, one of the greatest Seahawks to ever play the game, should be receiving that award a ton of times. But yeah, well, what is the Steve Largent Award for again? Charity or something like that?
And yeah, it sort of represents a player who demonstrates goodwill, a charitable work, things like that off the field. So it's one that's not very well publicized. They usually announce it at the beginning of the last game of the season, but most people don't talk about it. Most people don't know how many times, and it surprised me actually when I did the research on this, because I knew he'd won it more than once, but it wasn't the guy with the most wins. Noah, did you know the answer to this one?
But I took the field anyways, and I said false.
You decide not to fall for the trap. So you have no idea who that would be? Well, Max Strong, former fullback, number 38, he won it 5. He got it 5 times in the course of his time during the Seahawks. So yeah, Max Strong, 5-time recipient of the Steve Largent Award. Let's go to the scoreboard and see where things shake up. Do we still have the same guy at number 1 after the double question? No! Oh my goodness, a major shakeup here in the top 5. Cameron Hughes moves to number 1. Kivu moves to 2nd. Omar to 3rd. Ethan Ballhofer drops all the way to 4th. And Lamar Jackson rushes his way back into the top 5. My goodness, what a finish we have shaping up here. Let's go to the next double question right here. True or false? Double point value. Brandon Browner holds the record for longest fumble recovery for a touchdown in a regular season game. True or false? Brandon Browner of the LOB holds the record for longest fumble recovery for a touchdown in a regular season game. Make sure you pay attention to the details. Brandon Browner holds the records for longest fumble recovery for a touchdown in a regular season game. Time is up. Audience did not get this one. Only 18 of you got this one correct. If you said false, he did not have the longest fumble recovery for a touchdown in a regular season game. Did our panel know this little sneaky bit of trivia? Calvin.
I was going to say false, but then I went true last minute. So I got it wrong.
But you really had no idea. It was just either a 50-50 guess?
Well, I was going to say false because I was like, oh, it was Cam. But said, oh, pay attention to the wording. And when you said regular season, I was like, okay, that takes Cam out of the equation because what he did against Carolina was in the playoffs. I don't know. That was a pick. Actually,
that was a pick six.
No, I got it was a pick six. Never mind.
Martin, you're smiling. That seems like a good sign.
Oh, I was smiling? No, that's not a good sign.
So you missed it.
I remember this one game, but now that you come to think of it, I feel like it was a preseason game where he fumbled this ball. It was 99 yards or something, back or something. I think it was that. I don't know, but yeah, that's why I went false. And the only thing I know from Brandon Browner now is that he's in prison.
Yeah, that's a sad story right there. Noah, what about you?
Well, Norb, last time I knew a question this much, I tipped off Calvin and he got the right answer. So I tried not to say anything, but I was actually at the game that you were trying to tease about. That's how I know it was a preseason game, because I didn't go to the regular season games at all. I went to the preseason because they were cheaper. And the game that you were referring to was against the Denver Broncos when he got the football in the end zone, ran it all the way down. I was in the section right here, next to where he scored. So I remember that whole part of it and just seeing that. It was a lot of fun, but I did recall it was a preseason game.
Yeah, it was. It was an amazing. It was a 106-yard touchdown return by Brandon Browner. He picked it up in the end zone and ran it all the way back. But yes, it was a spectacular preseason accomplishment. So you'll probably never guess who actually did it. A name that isn't exactly a household name. It was actually Antonio Edwards in 1995 had an 83-yard return also against the Broncos. It was a sack, and the ball got jarred loose out of Elway's hands. He scooped it up and ran it back for a touchdown. I think they lost that game, though, but it was in Denver. So, yeah, Antonio Edwards. Not exactly a name you'd normally think of holding records in the Seahawks record books, but yes, he did. So let's see what happens after that tricky little question. I thought it was going to be an easy one. This actually was harder than I even realized. Here we go. Especially when they're getting the wrong, when the guy who made this thing got answers wrong. That doesn't help either. So let's see what the scoreboard looks like. Omar moves up to number 1. Cameron Hughes to second. Kivo to third. Yo boy Alex sneaks into the top 5 at number 4. Quiet Down 12's at number 5. And our leader, who had been on top the entire game, has dropped completely out of the top 5. But there's still time for an amazing fourth quarter Russell Wilson style comeback. Let's go to the next question.
What is our score?
Oh, I'll tell you that next time. Double points, true, false. Dave Craig has the most career fumbles as a Seahawks quarterback. True or false? Dave Craig has the most career fumbles as a Seahawks quarterback. This one I know I didn't screw up. Dave Craig has the most career fumbles as a Seahawks quarterback. You have 5 seconds. And time is up. Oh, okay. Probably one of the more easier questions. 40 of you got this right. It is true. Dave Craig had the most fumbles as a Seahawks quarterback. Let's see if our panel knew that. I'll tell you this. Well, no, we'll read this and I'll tell you where the score stands. Calvin.
I said true, just because he is a turnover machine, and so who else would be fit to lead the Seahawks in most fumbles?
Okay.
Wow.
Martin.
Yay! Finally got one. Yep, I went with true.
All right. Noah.
I'm pretty sure I asked this on Bolt Jeopardy, and so I got this one.
All right, so with one question remaining, one bonus question remaining, here's the scores. Noah with 9, having gotten those last 2 double points, jumped ahead with Calvin with 8 and Martin with 6. So Noah making a last minute, but it's not in the books yet. This final question could decide it. I think it's an easy one, but that all depends on how well you know something about me. Let's go to the scoreboard and see what we have here. Omar staying on top with 10,714 points. Cameron Hughes in second. Quiet Down 12s moves up to third. Ethan Ballhofer rises from the grave back to the top 5 at number 4. And Brandon Rogers comes in for the first time into the top 5 with one question remaining. This is your final true-false 50-50 double points question for all the marbles and an opportunity to co-host the show. Here we go. True or false? Double points. I graduated from Washington State University. True or false? Me, NorbCam, graduated from Wazoo. True or false? You've got 5 seconds left. Time is up. And most of you got this right. Okay, apparently the YouTube world, my fans never let me down. We're paying attention. Very impressed. 40 of you got this correct. For the final points in this trivia NorbCam contest, let's see how the final results shake out. Calvin.
I know y'all was talking about UW, and so I went with false.
You got it. All right. Calvin got the correct answer. Martin.1
I've heard you talking about UW. I know you root for UW a lot. But then I remember, I'm pretty sure your friend went to Wazoo, so I thought, okay, maybe Norb went to Wazoo, and then he just betrayed Wazoo. I'm sorry, Norb. I'm sorry.
You've heard me root for UW, and I would have graduated from Wazoo? Are you kidding me? There is no logic there. Ask anybody who graduated from either of those schools, would they ever root for the other team? Maybe if it'll help them win the championship or something. But oh my goodness,
my uncle. My uncle went to Wazoo, and he went to UW. I'm broken. Yes, Michael Mullen. I broke.
Oh my goodness.
Sorry, I let you down, guys.
And so we've got here Noah with one final question. You will either win or lose with this question. Win, get it, and you win it. Lose it, and you get second. Noah, I know you know a lot about me. I know you even knew what high school I went to. Tell me you knew what college I graduated from.
Okay, hold up. So, you guys notice in the background here, it says Future Coug, right? So I got accepted to Wazoo. I'm still deciding if that's the college I'm going to go to. My dad went to UW. But ever since I've had that up there, Norb, we've done plenty of shows. And as soon as we found out each other went to KM, we were all over it. Whereas, while not only have I heard you talking about UW, but I've had that up there forever, and you never said anything about you going to Wazoo. Therefore, I said false. There's no way you went to Wazoo. And I got it right.
And with that question, Noah edges out Calvin with a 1-point victory, finishing with 11 points. Calvin with 10, and Martin with an off day with the encyclopedia, lots of typos and red ink in that one. 6 points today, Martin. Sorry that it was not your day. Congratulations, Noah, for winning the panel contest. Let's find out how things shaped up in YouTube land. Final podium, top 3 right here. In third place, with 11,713 points, Cameron Hughes in third place. In second, Quiet Down 12s. And in first, Omar Omar steals the #1 seed, the #1 championship, gets the trophy, and the opportunity to host a future NorbCam episode along with our special guest. Congratulations, Omar. Take a screenshot, if you don't mind, of that winning screen, and then email me at my email right down below there. It says norb@norbcam.com, and we will arrange for you to be on the show next time. All right. Well, thank you guys for being part of this. As always, YouTube land, thank you so much for your participation. That was a lot of fun. It is interesting how in a 50-50 game, the lead changes are so extreme, especially in the last 3 questions. As I always ask, which was the most surprising question as far as you guys are concerned? We'll start with Martin, since he did the worst today. Martin, which was the most shocking question that you heard today?
Pretty much all of them that I got wrong, I guess. I did not do well. I'd rather do the multiple choice questions than the true or false. That's all I can say. I'm sorry to let you guys down.
My most disappointing question was the last one, that you didn't know what college I graduated from. I have not been training you well, my young Jedi. Okay, Cal. How about you? Lost it in the final seconds of this competition. What was the question that did you in that was the most unexpected in terms of one that you just did not get correct?
It has to be the Brown one, just because I originally said false, and then I ended up choking. Went with true when I should have just took my first. Yeah, it got to be that one.
Sorry, man, your connection was breaking up really bad, so you look like Max Headroom meets Auto-Tune for a second there. So say that. Which question was it again? I didn't quite catch it.
It was the Browner one.
The touchdown, humble touchdown for return. Yeah. Okay.
Just stuck with my first instinct.
Yeah, sometimes the gut instincts in a 50-50 is the best one. So Noah, congratulations on the, I wouldn't say dominating performance, because you had to come from behind to win that inside of 2 minutes. What was the surprise question to you?
It was the one with Dave Craig versus Hasselbeck. What was that one about the most seasons started?
The one that I got wrong.
That one shocked me. It was
shocking because I screwed it up completely somehow. I don't know what happened there. I have to check my research, but I think if the audience is correct that he was quarterback from 80 to 91, that would actually be greater, which I don't know how that would have changed. Obviously, it might have changed the scope of the contest for the YouTube land, obviously. But for you guys, weren't you guys across the board had the same answers?
I got it wrong.
I got it wrong. I know I did.
I got it right. It would have made my score look worse.
Oh, so actually it would have hurt you more. So really, it wouldn't have changed the panel result. Noah, you still would have won that. Okay. Yeah. So it'll be, well, so I'm sorry for those in YouTube if I did you wrong there. My bad. And my apologies to Mudbone, to Dave Craig, how I missed that statistic and mistakenly gave more credit to Matt Hasselbeck. My apologies. I'll be better on my research next time. But that was a lot of fun as always. Pretty intense. Pretty back and forth. But I appreciate really it was intense just talking about fantasy football. I already start sweating just thinking about the idea of rooting for George Kittle against my Seahawks. That could actually happen. Anyway, we're going to wrap this show up now. But first I want to just, again, give the opportunity for our panel to say real quick a little bit about where they can find you, starting with, I would go from last to first. So, Martin, why don't you start? Tell them again where they can find you and a little bit about your channel, the elevator pitch. Go.
Once again, I'm very sorry I let you guys down. Encyclopedia was broken today. I broke down. Someone gave me the wrong batteries. I'm a what do you call? I'm a electronic encyclopedia.
I was gonna say the encyclopedia I grew up with came in like 25 really thick volumes. It took up an entire like half of a bookcase. So way before your time. I'm sure you don't have any encyclopedias of our kind in your house, but maybe the electronic kind. I think anything that close to an encyclopedia is Wikipedia. Is the only pedias that we start seeing in anybody's house these days. But sorry to interrupt. Go on. Continue with your description.
or if I was a hardcover book, then I had a lot of typos and red marks in there, unfortunately. But yeah, my channel is called Seahawks Martin. If you want to check out my channel, it's down there in the description. Thanks for having me, Norb, on the show. It was awesome. And I mean, on my channel, I just talk football, mostly football. Sometimes I do a little basketball video with my brother or something like that.
And do you have specific times when you have your shows? I know you do your Saturdays when you have your episodic show, right?
Yeah. On Saturdays, my show, it's called the Seahawks Martin Show. The Seahawks Martin Show is basically kind of like the Boelt, just not radio. It's more like you actually can see us talking. But yeah, it's similar to the Boelt. We have a quiz, kind of like Boelt Jeopardy. It's just not Jeopardy because I'm too lazy to, have the wagers and stuff. So I just do a rapid fire quiz on my friends, and sometimes they can be sore losers. Adam. But yeah, we have a lot of fun filming. We just have a great time, and I sure hope that you guys like our show. And on the weekdays, it's just me talking my random football, and so I sure hope you guys will like that. That's what my channel is pretty much all about. So if you like it, then subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and don't forget to subscribe to Norb, Noah's, and Calvin's too. You guys have to.
All right, and I like the way you start your videos off, where you spin the camera around 360 before you put it on yourself. That's a nice touch. That's very, very unique. I like that. You get a little dizzy, but it's cool. All right, let's go to the second place winner, Calvin. Why don't you tell the audience a little bit about your channel again? Remind them where they can find you.
All right, so before you show love to me or Noah, show some love to Norb and Seahawks Martin. Once again, Norb, always a pleasure to be on your show. Thankful and grateful for the opportunity each and every single time. Can't thank you enough. Find me on YouTube at Steezy A. Smith. I post weekly videos in the world of sports. Just dropped one the other day as we talked about why Russell Wilson won NFL MVP next season. Be sure to check that out. Run it up for me. And my partner in crime at DJ Squabo posts daily videos. He just dropped one this morning talking about Colin Kaepernick and his best fits in the NFL. Y'all haven't checked that out? Be sure to leave a like, subscribe, comment, leave a view. And yeah, I'm going to let Noah get into the Boelt.
All right, Noah, tell them about the Boelt and all things football and sports that you do.
Well, first I got to give credit because I was watching Calvin's video about the Russell Wilson for MVP, and I really think you guys should check it out just because he builds an excellent case for why Russell Wilson, the Seahawks quarterback, should be MVP in the NFL next year. And I was tuned in to Martin's show last weekend, listening to you, Adam, Ori, and the guys. You guys did a phenomenal show, so I definitely recommend you tune in to him on Saturdays. But to tune into our show that I do with Calvin every single week, we talk sports for 3 hours. It's from 10 to 1. You can listen live on the KGRG app, or if you miss it, you can tune into the podcast. The link is in the description below. We podcast up the entire show and put it on SoundCloud. I post daily videos on YouTube. And once again, if you want to join our Boelt or our just fan league with Norb and Calvin and all of us, I guess. If you want to join the fan league, DM me on Instagram at DJSQUABO. It is free to join.
And I got to give credit where credit is due. This whole idea about doing the trivia came from listening to your show on the KGRG app. Listening to that, and I thought, I like the idea of having some little trivia fun. Let's see if we can bring our audience into it as well as you guys. And so it's you sparked that idea, and it's been fun doing it. So thank you for what you guys do. I think we all kind of work together, we team up, and we try to help, support, and inspire each other. So it's all about sharing the love, baby. All right, so thanks to my guests, Martin, Noah, and Calvin. Thank you guys for joining, as always. And, of course, to the audience, you guys, for all of you who super chatted, for all of you who commented and also played in the game, and, of course, just those who just wanted to watch and see what we had to talk about today. We appreciate your guys' support. So please subscribe all our channels, hit those like buttons, and hit the notification bell so that you'll always know when a new video is coming out. And take care. We will talk to you guys next time. Go Hawks.